Please stand for our morning pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic of which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Please continue standing for our moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Good morning, everyone. I have a couple of quick announcements to make. First of all, parking. Students, the parking lot to the left side of our building, if you're standing at the front of the building looking straight at the building, the parking lot to the left, which is closest to the tennis courts, that's the Big Success Academy parking lot. So all students should be parking in that parking lot. If you're parking over in the other parking lot, eventually you will end up with a ticket on your car and maybe even a sticker on your window to notify you to not park there. So please make sure you're parking in the parking lot closest to the tennis courts. Secondly, please make sure you're monitoring all BISD, Facebook, Twitters, web pages, everything, because information and notifications about school closures and that type of thing for the storm that's coming will be put out at that time. So please make sure that you're monitoring those type of areas so that you'll know what to do in case the storm does come our direction. All right, guys, y'all have a great day, and now for your motivational video.
The hard part is getting over it in the beginning. 3 weeks, it's a habit. It will be ingrained in your central nervous system if you do this every day for 3 weeks. Studies show this. The first hardest part are the first 5 days. Once you do that, once you get over that, things become really much easier for you. And then you're on this path towards greatness. The anxiety goes away, the fear goes away, the stress goes away. The hardest part about getting a ship moving is the beginning. That's where, like the NASA shuttles, the most fuel is used in that launch. That's where the most energy and effort is required. And we get caught up in the trap thinking that that's the energy required and the effort required throughout the entire process. And that's not the truth. You will adapt. It will be easier for you. But it's a matter of getting over that fear in the beginning to then get to that point where it's ingrained in your central nervous system. Then you're on autopilot. Like, if you ever wrote a paper for school before and it's really hard in the beginning, you procrastinate, and you just put it off. And then it's like the night before or something that it's due, and then you just like sit yourself down and do it. And the first 15 minutes, it's like writer's block, it's hard. And then you break through. And then it's like you're on autopilot after a while. And it's like, where are these thoughts coming? It's just unbelievable how the brain works. And you're writing a million miles a minute. It's like thoughts that you never even thought of before are just coming out. I know this has happened to you. And then you have to almost pull yourself away because you have to go to bed to get some sleep because you're just like on this path. And that's how life is. Once you get involved in something, it just goes on autopilot to where you start thinking of like really elaborate stuff, higher level stuff that beginner people who are outside do not experience, so from the outside they look at these successful people and they're like, how do they do this? I don't understand how they're able to do this. And of course you don't, because you never immersed yourself in that process. But once you immerse yourself in that process, you could do it too. They are not made of something different as you think they are. They're flesh and blood like you. But life is more about conditioning and habitual routines and stepping outside this comfort zone than it is about genetics. You have a genetic envelope, no question. and you may be endowed with certain gifts and qualities. But I guarantee you that many successful people wish they had qualities that you have. Because no one's perfect in this world. Everyone is imperfect, right? But you can't be on this quest to be perfect. You are imperfect. So the quest is not to be perfect. You will never get there. If that's your goal, you will fail in that goal. The quest is to be the best you. And the only way to be the best you is to break through your fears. Because that is the brick wall to your comfort zone. And if you break down that brick wall, that comfort zone just expands. Expands. And it knows no bounds. So literally everything on this planet could be within your comfort if you choose to break down those walls.
You have your goals in life, your dreams, all these different pursuits, and instead of just starting, just taking step by step, taking action, you kind of just sit on the sidelines. You wait for a contract or guarantee of success. You want this game plan or this map of every single step you're going to have to take, when you're going to have to take them, what kind of step to take, so it's very predictable and it's very safe. You want to see it all. You're like, okay, I don't just want to jump in, to this uncertainty, into the unknown. I want to know, I'm going to do this, and then this is going to happen, then I'm going to do this. And you're stuck in this painful emotional state. You're in limbo instead of progressing or expanding. You're always doubting yourself. That burns you up inside, the fact that you're not progressing. You're killing your purpose in life, let's just say, your course and purpose in life. You're just putting it on hold, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. Because you hear it like, hey, have a logical game plan for every single step of the way. Plan, be very, careful so you don't get into these pitfalls. And the reason it's bad is, as I mentioned before, it's never going to happen. Okay? We live in a world that's just changing so fast that this long-term, precise vision, it doesn't exist. Okay? Not a single person I know can look into the future, say year, 2 year, 3, 4, 5 years ahead and know exactly all the different things that are going to happen and how he's going to achieve his goal. Everyone, of course, has a general vision, and you should have that. Like, hey, I want to be in this position here and continuously focus on that. But along the way, you're going to encounter many obstacles, and a lot of them you just can't predict. They're just going to blow up in your face, and if you're just waiting to be sure that every single step is there, you're done. Okay, on top of that too, guess what? You're going to be psyched out. Okay, you're going to be like, oh my God, there are all these steps to take, and you're just never going to do it because it's overwhelming. Just do the first step. Even if you don't really know where the next one's going to be, just start now. Okay, on one hand, it's realistic and it's not too overwhelming. Whatever it is you're trying to pursue, there is something you can do right now. Even as you're watching this video, you can probably pause this video and do something that'll kind of kickstart you in the right direction. You won't get overwhelmed, and guess what? It's going to start building momentum. Okay, and this is key. Every single step of the way, it's a little easier to do the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and then they just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it becomes easier and easier and easier.